باركت وتعاليت هذا الجهاد كلهم سمعنا وطعنا. Inshallah, before the khatir of Dr. Shamil, Brother Bassam wants to talk for a minute. Inshallah. You need this? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You know, brothers, I'm sure not all of us watching the news as some of us. So we're up against the worst creation that God sends to earth. Since March 2nd, the Zionist Jews block everything again. So there's nothing going in or coming out of Gaza. We see some of the severely ill patients leaving. But other than that, there's nothing. The only work on the ground is the warlord. From both sides, unfortunately. So practically what we have been doing here in this masjid for the last almost 17 months, the least form of jihad that we can do, which is we give some money. We have a small window that we can get money we contribute to our brothers and sisters with the least form of jihad, some money. So early on we used to feed 2,400 people in small camp for about $1,000. Now the same amount of people have been fed for about $1,900 and even $2,000. As the Sheikh yesterday said, Sheikh Zaid, we sometimes undermine the $10 and $5 that we give. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to give and leave it up to Him. How far are you $10 going to go? So this month we have been doing way less than last Ramadan, subhanAllah. We need to continue. Palestine, it's not just for Palestinians. Like some other people like us to think and believe. Palestine, it's a waqf Islam for all of us, for the whole ummah, not only for Arabs, for all Muslims. So Gaza is part of the Ribat, where Rasul ﷺ mentioned it multiple times. So your contribution needs to continue somehow, inshallah. So we have a small window that we can get the money through now. I don't know for how long. But so far we have been very successful, alhamdulillah. So please, let's continue, let's not stop. I know some of us, I know as we said yesterday, the shayateen is already chained. But, when it comes to money, subhanAllah, the nafs is always rethink the issue multiple times. It's a hard thing to do. So, and again, I want to jump to another topic very quick. We started to collect the used clothes and shoes to sell this to some of the organization locally and collect some money. And that fund will help our local community, inshallah, our masjid, and practically, the leadership in this masjid, they will give most of the money back to Gaza, inshallah. So we will, inshallah, get to the point where do something good overall. And everything we have been doing is good, mashallah. So let's continue. Bring your bag, 13 gallons, the regular trash bag, white, clear, with your old clothes. Spring cleaning, please. Let's start bringing from like yesterday. The dead time is the 22nd, 10 a.m. So by the 21st, we should get all these bags ready, marked with the ICIE, inshallah name. So please help us out.
Jazakallah khair. Just something I watched in the news yesterday. One of the brothers in Gaza was talking about like how the prices are skyrocketing, and they're saying like tomato, and when they say tomato worth like 40 shekels, which is about $10 maybe, more, maybe $12, that means a kilogram of tomatoes is like almost $12, $13. Imagine if you go to any supermarket here and you find 1 pound of dollar like for tomato for $6, $7. Would you buy it? Even if you have the money, probably no, you're gonna skip it and say, I'll do something else, But this is just to show you, because of the blockage of admitting the humanitarian aid, is really, it's becoming like a huge issue for the people of Gaza. May Allah make it easy for all of them, inshallah. And I know it's a burden sometimes. There are so many fundraising here, Muslim institutions, but this is the month of giving. This is the month of sadaqah. Don't think that because you donated $500 to the masjid or to a Muslim organization, I'm not going to do anything for Gaza. Keep going, please, inshallah. I'm reminding myself. And don't start calculating 2.5% for my zakah, whatever, that's it, I'm done. No, above and beyond. The Rasul was كالريح المرسلة. It's the month of Ramadan, anything that lands in his hand, it just goes out right away. He was like the wind, the clouds full of khair. Like anything that comes to his house, immediately goes out to the poor and the needy, inshallah. This is a long introduction, but again, it's Sunday, and we still need to listen to our brother, inshallah, Dr. Shamil, for the khatira. Quick khatira, maybe? Just kidding.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Just to emphasize again what Brother Bassem is saying, that we forget how just if all of us give $2, $3, it can be a lot. So you don't have to give 100, 200, just $5, $10. You give it regularly, it all adds up in the end. Many of the campaigns, the politicians, they say the donors from the small people that just give $5, $10, that's what makes up the majority of the money, not the big donors giving thousands or whatever. So whatever you can give, inshallah, will be helpful. So today I just wanted to continue briefly on the nutrition theme that was brought up yesterday by Dr. Hani and also has been brought up by Qutayba. So just 3 foods that I want to mention. Sunan of the foods of the Prophet ﷺ. The first one, dates. We know that we eat a lot of dates, especially in Ramadan, but subhanAllah, there are hadith specifically about the dates, encouraging us to eat them. And like Dr. Hani said yesterday, that Allah gives us the knowledge, but sometimes we don't know all the knowledge yet. It comes in stages, and we learn more and more now about dates, how beneficial they are for us as a complete food with minerals, vitamins, protein. When you break your fast on dates, we learn that you're not as hungry when you go to eat your meal afterwards. So again, many blessings. The Prophet ﷺ said, when one of you breaks his fast, let him break it with dates, for they are a blessing, and if he cannot find dates, then with water, for it is pure. Another hadith about the dates, the ajwa dates, which is dates from a specific area in Medina. Whoever eats 7 ajwa dates in the morning, neither magic nor poison will harm him that day. Another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, indeed in dates there is a cure. And then again, breaking of the fast. When one of you, the Prophet ﷺ, when one of you breaks his fast, let him break it with dates, for they are blessed. And then also mentioning taking dates in suhoor. Prophet ﷺ said the most excellent pre-fasting meal, the suhoor of the believer, is dates. We know that dates have been mentioned in the Quran, including palm trees, the most of any fruit, actually 22 times dates mentioned in the Quran. And we know the famous story of Maryam alayhi salam when she was delivering, and the angel came to her and told her to shake the palm tree for the dates to come down and help her during the pains of labor. By Ibn Umar radiallahu anh, the Prophet ﷺ said, there is a tree among the trees which is similar to Muslims, and that is the date palm tree. Another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ stressed the importance of dates, saying, people in a house without dates are in a state of hunger. So he even encouraged us to always have dates in the house. as a source of food. And we know again that it was one of his favorite foods, subhanallah. And now getting to honey. We know that honey is mentioned in the Quran, in Surah Al-Nahl, that is a cure for mankind. There is also a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said there are two healings, the healing of asal, of honey, and also the healing of the Quran. So again, like Dr. Hani mentioned, the body and the soul. So the honey healing the body, and then the Quran healing the soul. The honey itself, again, we don't know all the benefits, how amazing it is and how many healing properties it has. We're starting to learn more. We talk about evidence-based medicine, where the medicine that we practice is actually based on evidence, some kind of research, something that is actually proven. So much medicine actually has no research behind it. It's just practice that's been going on for hundreds of years. So now there are some researches on these food items. Most research is focused on drugs, medications, not so much on food. The industry is just geared that way. That's why you can go to the store and buy at Clark's, you can buy certain herbs or other things, but there's no proof that any of these things work. So in some hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, there was a man that actually had diarrhea, and his brother came and asked the Prophet how to heal him, and he said to give him honey. So he gave it to him. He didn't get better originally. He went back to him, and the Prophet said, give him honey. He did it again, still not. Then he said the third time, give him honey. And he said, this person's stomach is lying, but Allah is true. And on the fourth time, or whatever, the next time that he gave it, the person became cured by giving him the honey. His diarrhea went away. So we know now that honey, where there's cases of cholera or other types of infectious diseases, honey is one of the food items that can help the body actually absorb water. So giving some honey with the water, it allows more absorption of the water to go in. So it's healing. Again, now we learn. The Prophet ﷺ also mentioned honey as one of the three healing elements, alongside with cupping and cauterization, or branding with fire. But then he said, I forbid my believers to use branding with fire as a healing treatment. But we know that he used to practice cupping, where the cups on the back for an area that has pain, either wet or dry, with blood or without blood. But again, his hadith mentioning honey. It was his practice that he would drink water mixed with honey on an empty stomach, as again healing and health benefits. There's some research now also that shows that all the cough and cold preparations that we have in the store, right, there are so many of them, you don't know which one to pick, but that honey, in comparison to these medications over the counter, have just as much benefit of taking care of colds, coughs, sore throat, mucus, phlegm in the chest. So a healthier way to deal with the common cold, for example. So taking some honey with some warm water can make a big difference with making the person feel better. And the honey being boosting of the immune system, anti-inflammatory, so people with cancer, people with any type of autoimmune disease, all these benefits of honey. Diabetes in small amounts, not taking like half the jar, can be beneficial. So as anything in Islam, moderation. But I'm not telling you to leave your medicine or leave whatever your doctor told you. Do what the doctor tells you, and then ask if you have a question, can I take honey, can I take this, that, to make sure that it's not going to cause you any harm. But sometimes you do have to do some research because many of the physicians, especially here in this country, are not familiar with herbal medicine, with herbs, honey, those kind of things, whether it's helpful or not. And the immediate response for diabetes is no, you can't take it. Or the immediate response, if you have diabetes, you cannot fast. But then physicians that know about Islam or are Muslim, there are ways for certain people with diabetes, if it's not a difficult to control diabetic, that they can fast, again with the advice of the doctor. And do not give honey to children less than a year of age. It can cause botulism, which is a serious disease where they actually stop moving and can become paralyzed for some time. And then the last thing is habbat al-barakah, al-habba al-sawda. Other also hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said that the black seed is a cure for everything except death. So it has cure in it, again, that we are not familiar with. The black seed, or habba sauda, or habbat al-barakah. In Urdu, I guess it's kalanji. So it's the scientific name, Nigella stavia, but it can be effective in helping boost the immune system, fight cancer, reduce swelling, lessen allergic reactions. So again, many benefits. And the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, again about the habba sauda being a cure for all diseases. And it was his practice also to take that seed. One caveat that for some people, if they take the oil, it causes stomach irritation, causes them to have nausea, vomiting, even reflux. So be careful again with advice of your doctor or researching it. Not to take half the jar at one time. Just a few, half a teaspoon or something on some food of the seed itself, in my opinion, rather than the concentrated oil, which can be difficult for some people. So these are just a few examples of the benefits of some of the foods that Allah has created for us. We forget that Allah created us. He created our bodies. And as I'm sure was mentioned in some of the talks before, that He knows what's best for our body. So if we follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, he did things that was beneficial to the body that we're learning now why it was beneficial or how it was beneficial. So following some of the sunnahs of what he ate can be beneficial to us. And we know also that moderation, this is something that we forget. Like Dr. Hani said, a third for the air, a third for water, a third for the food in the stomach, not to overeat, not to overindulge in anything. Even honey or habbat al-sauda, not to take so much that it can be not helpful to your body. So may Allah guide us to eat healthy and think of all the people in the world also that do not have food like we do. That's one of the important concepts in Ramadan as well, and to help those people that are in need wherever they are. Jazakumullah khair.